Hello, old friend, Trevor.
How's it going? It's been too long, man.
You just say Trevor and people know who it is, because I said nobody's going to think if we say Trevor, I'm talking about Trevor Manuel.
The name Trevor is so unpopular that now there's so few of us left. It's like Highlander.
You know what? I'm so glad that your accent is the same as you left.
You know, it's funny. Some people don't think that. And I think maybe when I speak to certain people in certain countries, they think the accent has completely changed. And then, I'll come home and then people will be like, Trevor, your accent changed, eh? And I'm like, how do you think I used to sound? They're like, you used to sound just like me, brother. You sounded exactly like this, Trevor. Come on, man. And then sometimes I think I should actually do that. When I come home, I think I'm just going to speak like that the whole time and see if anyone will notice. Maybe they'll actually say he sounds more real than he's ever sounded before.
When I think of you, I think of those days when we would perform on beer crates in these funny little holes in the wall. And you are now selling out stadiums around the world, and I'm still performing on beer crates in these funny little holes.
You and I have literally performed in a tiny bar for like 50 people, and then we've watched our careers move and evolve and the comedy industry change. I mean, I remember, standing backstage with you where we were about to perform for like 8,000 people all of a sudden, like an Emperor's Palace or something, or we're getting ready to do a show at Grand West. Comedy is very much person to person, and so I never take for granted the fact that it's really something that's hard to grow. And when people do come and support the shows, and when they come and have a good time with you, it's why I give 1,000% of all of my energy, my mind, my heart, all of it. Those beer crates are fun. I still try and find those shows, by the way. I still try and find small shows in every country I'm in, just to perform for those audiences,
Performing in front of 50 people in a bar or, 50,000 people in a stadium, does it feel the same?
When you're performing for a small group of people, you can intimately connect with each person in the audience. You can, they affect the show in a big way. You affect them in a big way because it's so close and it's so tight. And that's something that makes a small show special. What makes a big show special is the fact that it's a huge gathering of people sharing an emotion. There's nothing like laughing with thousands of people at the same time. I mean, it's almost a crazy concept when you think about it. We still don't understand why it happens. We don't know how it happens. But for thousands of people at the same time to be laughing is pretty amazing. The only time I can think of that happening, funny enough, is when load shedding hits. Because everyone feels it at the exact same time.
What do you know about load shedding, Trevor?
You guys, what do you mean, what do I know about load? You guys are playing games. You forget that I come home often. Yeah, I come home, and then people will be like, Trevor, what are you doing here? You're supposed to be in America. Guys, I come home all the time.
Trevor, buy me a generator.
I'm always home. My favorite load shedding is the one that hits when you're in, like, the supermarket. So the other time I was in Checkers, and then the load shedding hit, and then for a moment, everyone, because there's a moment before the generators kick in. So everyone's just standing there in darkness, and everyone doesn't move. Everyone just stands exactly where they are. And then when the lights come on, they just act like nothing happened.
No, Trevor.
We're all in the exact same space.
What we call that is the shoplifting window.
When darkness falls.
Some people have timed that down to the perfect. They only shop 5 minutes before load shedding. But listen, Trev, man, it's been so interesting to watch you, and as your star has grown. I mean, Sibs has even put you on her ranking scale now, where she's put you as the third most famous South African. All right, so she's got Madiba, 1, Charlize 2, and then she's put you at 3.
Wow, that's crazy.
Any South African who travels around the world and you meet different people, they just want to talk to you about Madiba, Charlize, and that guy who used to work at The Daily Show.
And Trevor. We followed you via the tabloids. We've seen the houses. We've heard the numbers of the salaries. $5 million a year. We've seen, what is true and what is not? Your $10 million penthouse in Manhattan and your $20 million mansion in Los Angeles. What do you actually have at this point?
The two things that I think people forget when they read these stories. Number one is like half of them are not true. So I've read numbers sometimes where as each story goes from one website to the next website, the number doubles every single time. And then by the end of it, all of a sudden, you know what? I now feel poor because people have written stories about me for money that I don't have. You know how depressing that is? Because now people have made me feel like I'm supposed to have this money, but now I don't have this money. Now all of a sudden I woke up feeling happy, and now I feel depressed when I have no reason to feel depressed. And then the other thing that people forget, you know, it's like as South Africans we all acknowledge this. But you know, there's a thing called bonds, guys. You remember a bond? You know, when you buy something, you have a bond, and then it's like, you know that thing is not your thing; it's the bank's thing. Like if something goes wrong in your life, the bank is coming to take that thing from you. So I go like, I think, you know, obviously dollars, you know, because the rand and the dollar are so, you know, so vastly separated. Yeah. These numbers can seem huge, but when you come to New York and then people are buying coffee for, you know, it's like, I mean, like I remember one friend of mine was visiting from Joburg. And we went to a coffee shop. And so he's like, we've been going around from one place to the next. And then at some place, he's like, Trevor. He's like, no, Trevor, let me buy for you, my man. He's like, you can't just be, you're paying for everything, Baba. Come on, let me buy for you. And then I was like, okay, I'll let me get, I'll have a chai latte and then I'll have a sandwich. He's like, okay, sharp. And then he ordered his stuff as well. And then the bill came and then he paid. But then he got in contact in South African numbers, and then he stopped and he looked at it, and then he's like, yo, Trevor, he's like, no, there's fraud on my account. Like, what do you mean? He's like, no, there's somebody doing fraud now. Somebody just bought, and then I'm like, what happened? He's like, look, Trevor, somebody just bought something, 700 rand. When did I spend 700? Then I was like, dude, you just bought the coffee and the sandwich. Then he's like, for 700 rand for coffee, Trevor. He's like, for coffee, I can buy shares of Rick Coffee for that money. Whatever. And then now he wanted me to pay him. But I mean, yeah, I think sometimes that's all it is, you know, the numbers from country to country can make things seem crazier than they are. But like, yeah, America, especially New York, is very expensive across the board.
Is New York home now? Where is the base? You say you're in and out of South Africa, but where would you say is where all your clothes are in the cupboard?
Well, New York is that place. So, you know, New York has become the hub where I've settled. It's the place where I can connect easily. So when I'm going to do shows in India, I can fly from here quickly. If I'm going to do shows in LA, I can fly from here quickly. So New York is that hub, you know. But when it comes to the heart, there's nothing for me that beats South Africa as home. And whenever I talk to South Africans or people who are, you know, I fight people all the time. I go, guys, we just have to get our country in check. Let me tell you something now. You cannot travel anywhere in the world and beat South Africa in what we have to offer. Just everything, the natural landscape we have. You know, I was in Sicily recently. It was my first time, and people were like, oh, Trevor, have you ever seen a place as beautiful as this? Look at the look at the vines, look at the vineyard, look at the wine. You've never seen anything like this in Italy. Oh, this is so beautiful. Have you ever seen anything? I was like, my man, Cape Town beats this place 10-0.
Yeah. Oh, man.
You take for granted what we've got in the country. So for me, in that regard, no. SA will always be that place. New York has to be my hub because of my work, but I'm always flying in and out. They know me very well. OR Tambo and Cape Town International, those people know me very well. Trevor, so weird that you're back.
And Trev, I got to ask you a question while we're on this. So in that beautiful Manhattan apartment there,
that you are staying in alone,
yes,
I'm sure.
Have Dua Lipa's high heels ever been under that bed?
No, you know, can I tell you, that's another thing. You see, it's one thing when people do it with stories about like houses and things. One of the weirdest things you'll learn in American celebrity is how everybody wants to make up stories about who you're dating, who you're seeing, how you're seeing them. Let me tell you guys, I've gotten married to people I've never even met before in my life, thanks to tabloids. There are stories about me. You know, my mom calls me. It would be one thing if it was just stories, but my mom will phone me and go, Trevor, why didn't you tell me you have a girlfriend? Then I'm like, I don't have a girlfriend. Then she's like, but the newspaper said you got a girlfriend. Then I'm like, Mom, I don't have. Then now my mom thinks I'm lying to her. No, Dua Lipa and I were friends. That story got blown out of proportion. There was like, literally, we did a podcast together. She was wonderful. sometimes it's like, I think it's terrible because, it makes everyone not want to be friends with people in public because of the stories that come out of it. But I guess at some point you just have to learn that, like, rumors are going to be rumors, and you go from there,
Yeah, I guess, eh? And so tell me now, I mean, we see all the people you meet, and then Oprah was at your show in LA and she gives a review, and we see that in the papers the next day. So, like, on your phone, like, is there Oprah's cell phone number there?
Yeah, actually, I do have Oprah's cell phone number.
Yeah, I knew. Jackie's laughs. I love it. I've got my mom's number on my phone. Now, please tell me Please tell me. Now, Sibs flies around the world going to see Beyonce. Please tell me you've got Beyonce's number on your phone.
Oh, no. Nobody has Beyonce's number on their phone.
And if you did have her
nobody.
number...
I don't think anybody... Yeah.
Yeah, you'd have to sign an
NDA. That's a number that I don't...
Right.
Yeah, I don't even know if you can... I don't even think you can have Beyonce's number on your phone. I think you have to have a separate phone. Beyonce.
Like a burner. Beyonce burner.
Yeah, you can't... Not even a burner, a keeper, not a burner. It's the opposite. That's your Beyonce phone. And I'm sure when she gives it to you, she says, this is the phone I'll phone you on, and you phone me on it, and that's it. There's no TikTok, there's no WhatsApp, there's no nothing. It's just you and Beyonce on that phone.
And then the phone self-destructs after the call, and you wait for the next phone. So Trev, look, you're doing a world tour. I mean, the way and the speed at which your tickets sell out is incredible. I mean, you've sold out Grand West 4 times already, and you will sell it out 6 times because you've added 2 new dates.
I won't lie. South African fans it's the reason I always do shows in South Africa. It's the reason I've never said I'm, like, leaving South Africa. It's the reason, I will always ride for South Africa. I represent the country in the world. The country represents me. We have something special. Last night I was at one of Dave Chappelle's shows here in New York City. He's doing his 50th birthday celebration at Madison Square Garden. And I bumped into Burna Boy backstage. And Burna Boy was doing a surprise performance at Dave Chappelle's show. And Burna Boy turns to me and he's like, yo, Trevor, bro. He's like, I'm coming to South Africa. He's like, I'm coming to FNB Stadium in September. He's like, man, I can't believe it. I'm doing a stadium. South Africans are so amazing. We're going to do the show together. He's like, yo, and he loves the country, he loves the people, he loves the vibe that we give off. And so I don't take that for granted. I've always said to people, if people want to come to my shows, I will put on a show and I will perform. And I'm proud that South Africa is still the country where the most people will come to my shows. I never want to be one of those people where my country is a country that's at the bottom of the list. No, my country supports me and I support my country. Yeah, so it's really great to be coming back for that. Cape Town has been insane, by the way. Like you say, like, every show that we add gets sold out. Now we round up dates. So the dates that we have are the dates that we have.
It's final.
And we're just gonna hope for the best. I think it's I think on the what do we have? Yeah, wow. Actually, now when I look at it, all these shows are disappearing. It's wild. The 30th is almost sold out, and then I think the 4th is the only show where we still have a bunch of tickets because we just opened it.
Yeah, but that'll go in no time. But you're right in what you say, because I remember speaking to Jim Jeffries, and he said that he sells out around the world, but he couldn't sell a ticket in Australia. No one cared. That tide has turned for him now. And I mean, just in comedy names, you'll know Bill Hicks had the same thing in the United States. Nobody cared about him, but he used to reign supreme in England.
Yeah, definitely. And that's something I never want, and I'm glad that, I don't ever have to experience that with my country. It's beautiful to be South African. It's beautiful for us to ride this wave. Look, obviously the country has gone through some tough times, but I'll tell you this as well. As somebody who's been lucky enough to travel the world, man, every country goes through its tough time, and in those moments, every country I've been to, a lot of people don't think you can come out on the other side. And when you do come out on the other side, you find a country that's more resilient, you find a country that has more hope, you find a country that's learned its lessons. And, forgive me for being an eternal optimist. I think South Africa can do it. I think we've got the people to do it. I think we've got the cultures to do it. we can do it. We just have to put in the work.
Is comedy now your main gig, stand-up comedy? Because when you left The Daily Show, I'm not going to lie to you, South Africans were worried, our Trevi's unemployed. He's contributing to our high unemployment numbers.
He's going to get a SASA card.
Hey, the dream is now dead. What is Trevor Noah doing now?
That's amazing.
How are you paying the bills, Trevi?
I've been so lucky in my life. Comedy has been my job or my passion and my work for, now it's going to be close to 17, 18 years. So I've never looked at anything else as being more important to me than comedy. And it's also because comedy is the one space where I have a direct relationship with my fans. You come to the show, I perform for you. There's no in between us. There's no ad breaks. There's no channel that you have to find me on. There's none of that. It's just me to you. No one tells me what I can tell you, and no one tells you what you can hear from me. And so The Daily Show was an amazing adventure. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But it's all different. And now I'm lucky. I'm producing TV shows, producing documentaries. Writing and producing movies as well. So I'm playing around, and the most important thing for me right now is to have fun. If you're lucky enough in life to explore your passions and have fun, I think you should do that. But comedy, I will perform comedy as long as I'm physically able to, and as long as people want to watch me perform.
Well, long may that live. Well, let me tell you, I've known Trevor for 17 years. When Trevor was on the beer crates, nobody. And now speaking to you now as the third most famous South African, this is the same guy on those beer crates. This is the same guy, Trevor. This is.
Oh, thank you, Darren. Thank you, man. It means a lot to me.
But then you needed to be called Trevor Noah. You couldn't just say Trevor's performing tonight. And let me tell you, Trevor, I'll give you an inside track. I doubt you've ever heard this story, but when all of us, we were doing these big shows, the 46664 comedy shows, the heavyweight comedy jams, and we would all be in the group backstage, 8 of us. I'll tell you when we knew you were in a league of your own, okay? It was Sandton Convention Center. And we did 2 nights at Sandton Convention Center, 4,000 people a night, both nights sold out. So here we all come with our 15 minutes of hot material. We go and do Friday night, 15. Next, on the Saturday, we do the same 15 minutes. Yeah, this Trevor rocks in on the Friday night, does 15 minutes. The next Saturday, he does a whole brand new 15 minutes. And we're looking at this guy going, hey. This kills the room with 2 different 15 minutes.
Oh, man.
And we were all backstage going, look at this guy. This guy is incredible. This guy is, he's too good. He's too big for South Africa. This guy's going to go global, And then you went off to London.
No, man, thank you.
And you met Eddie Izzard, and you worked your way, and then then we see Daily Show, and then Trevor. The rest is history.
Yeah. It's honestly been a wild journey, and I've loved it. And that's been my favorite thing. Is, by the way, is waving that flag. You know how many times people come up to me? Sometimes they mess it up, but they still mess it up in a fun way. I've had people come up to me, and they'll be like if I'm in like Harlem or the Bronx or somewhere. Sometimes people come up to me, they'll be like, "Hey man, you that dude, you that comedian, though. Hey, you that dude." You that South African dude from England, right? And then I'm like, my friend, you just said 2 countries. You just said 2 countries.
Well,
so yeah, man, it's been wonderful that now when you say South Africa, people think of, some good things. And that's my goal, is to get people constantly talking about more good things about South Africa, because we're not just one thing at one time. We're a melting pot of everything.
Yeah, absolutely. And so when are you arriving in South Africa? When do you touch down here?
So I'm actually going to be touching down this weekend in Cape Town, and then I come in, I see the sights and sounds. I always like to go around and get a feel for the flavor of what's happening, see which streets are closed, which ones are open, see what's happening on Long Street, take my usual walk on Loop Street there, do a little thing on Kloof. I go play if my friends are there, we'll play a little football on one of the fields there at the base of Table Mountain, and then just go for a walk around gardens, pop into Camps Bay, have like a little. It's beautiful. Don't ever take for granted how beautiful that place is. And then so I'll be there on the weekend, and then I'll get ready for the shows, and then we kick off, and then that's going to be us.
Yeah, 2 new shows added, 30th of August and the 4th of September. There are like a handful of tickets left.
Yeah.
Grab them if you can.
So go get them. We got some to give away as well. Trev, I know you're busy, my man. Thank you very much for affording us this time of yours. And we look forward to seeing you when you come here.
Thank you. I know you're busy and you've got an amazing show. Thank you. And I hope I see you in person.
Absolutely,
Let's make sure I
Trev.
see your face and I get to hug you at the show.
Okay, just hook us up some backstage there, like old times, Trev.
You know, of course.
Just you and your beer crates.
I'll bring the beer crates for old times.
I love it.
Trev, you're a scholar and a gentleman. Well done with everything of your success, man. We're very proud of you, bud.
We'll see you soon.
Thank you so much. And thank you, Kate Sam, for the love. Thanks, KSM.
Cheers.
Bye-bye.